Hello, today we're going to review the EVEAGE 2-in-1 13-inch surface and undercarriage cleaner. So stay tuned. Well, I want to start off by saying that EVEAGE sent us this product for us to review, and we agreed to do it under the condition that we could give an honest review, pros and cons, under real-world conditions that we actually use here on the farm. So, let's see how we used it. So first thing in the box is the operator's manual, and I always look for the package includes list. So let's see if it has everything in there. First thing that came out are the 3 extension wands and then the 13-inch attachment. And the small box had the wheels in it, and it had 2 Teflon tapes instead of 1. It had 6 black washers instead of 4. It had the clearing needle and 2 additional nozzles. So everything was there. So let's start putting this together. First thing I noticed is a flat side in the hole for the bolt for the wheel, and what that does is helps it align correctly. You'll also know as I'm putting it on there that I left the plastic covering over the nuts. And I think those were put on there simply to protect the packaging while it was being shipped. You can take those off and just use a regular wrench to tighten down those nuts. 2 things to note with this operator's manual. It goes pretty in-depth on how to clean it and how to attach it to a normal pressure washer. But one thing it doesn't really cover is how to put the wheels on. So not great instructions on that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. And if you see the video, you'll figure that out quick. All the additional parts that were in there are essentially replacement parts. So you can put those in a bag and put them aside because you don't need to use them to assemble this. Okay, here we are in our 24-foot stock trailer, and we use this for stock, livestock. Mostly horses, but we have had cattle, hogs, and goats in here. And as you know, the manure and the urine can really eat away at the undercarriage, so it's very important to clean these out on a regular basis. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to clean half of this side I'm going to clean with a regular nozzle from the pressure washer. And then the other half I'm going to use the product. So we'll see how it compares to a normal pressure washer. So let's get started. First thing to notice is with the normal attachment, I have to go back and forth over and over, and it streaks the floor quite a bit if you've ever used a pressure washer. When I get to the ramp, I had to go horizontal, then vertical. A lot of work back and forth. Now with the attachment, it was more like a vacuum cleaner. I was able to go slow, no debris kicking up on the walls, and it did everything very evenly with no streaking whatsoever. I really like that fact. You'll notice in this picture that the right side is definitely cleaner than the left side, except for the 1-inch strip around the edge, which I was able to clean up later with the wand. Now, I didn't use any detergent, just simply water, because I wanted to do a quick pass and see the difference right away. Now, this is a little bit different. It's not a smooth surface, it's a rubber textured surface. And with the wand, I had to go back and forth vertically and back and forth horizontally, and I had to concentrate on a lot of places. I noticed that when I use that product, the first pass down, I just had a ton of dirt coming out of there. And after going up and down a couple times, it was clean. In fact, I went back over to the side that I did the regular wand with, and it started pulling a lot more mud out. So I would say on this service especially, the product was much better at cleaning that out. This video gives you an idea of how those nozzles are situated to cause that bar to spin and give you a very even distribution of the spray. Just a quick note, these bristles are extremely stiff, and they're not there to scrub the floor or the concrete. They're actually there to contain the spray as it comes out, because it's pretty powerful there. It contains the spray and the debris that's blowing around inside. And that is replaceable, by the way, in case it wears out over time. Since I don't have a concrete driveway, I used the rubber mats from the trailer to actually clean the undercarriage, and it did a wonderful job knocking stuff off the bottom and down onto the mats. When I was done, I simply switched the wheels around and I cleaned up the mats, and they cleaned up real nice. We're down now in an area that in the future will be our greenhouse, our in-ground greenhouse or wallopini. But in the process of building the house, we've used it for many different things, to include a paint booth, a construction site, and as you can see by the lines above me, it's currently a place where we dry our clothes. But over the months it's gotten pretty dirty on the floor, and it's a very smooth floor, so it ought to lend well to this surface cleaner. So let's see how it works. You'll see with the surface cleaner attachment that absolutely no spray or debris comes from the underside to the walls. Now, when I switched out to try to get the corners, you'll see a normal pressure washer attachment sprays all over the walls, knocking debris up there and making them wet. That's one of the advantages of this tool. You'll even see when I put it back on, I'm spraying and cleaning the floor directly under the camera. So I just want to show you the clearance here when it's in this mode. Those brushes go all the way to the ground. Now, they're not designed to scrub the ground, but they do contain all that power in this 13-inch diameter, which is probably why it's so effective, because it contains all the power in there. Now, the one disadvantage is when you flip this over to do the undercarriage work, you notice my trailer had a pretty high clearance. It's about 13.5 inches. Well, this only goes to about 4 3/4 inches up to the rim there. So it's very good for passenger cars, a minivan, sports cars that have clearance from about 5 to 7 or 8 inches. But when you have higher clearance vehicles, you may have an issue because the further you get from the spray, the less effective it is. So I actually modified the side here by taking these wheels and flipping them over. And what it did was it actually raised this an extra 2 inches. Now, I didn't show that in the video, but that's one way to get this a little bit higher for higher clearance vehicles. I would recommend the company actually come up with an extension so that when you're doing undercarriage work, you can actually adjust the height based on the height and clearance of your vehicle. Well, all in all, I'm really happy with this product. They've done a good job building it. I want to say in the undercarriage mode, I didn't even compare it to a normal pressure washer wand because there is no comparison. There's nothing really that can get under an undercarriage like that and shoot directly up. Now, as I said before, it'd be nice to be able to extend those legs and adjust it based on how high the deck is. But I will say the wands are very nice because I was able to stand on one side of the trailer and clean all the way to the opposite side. I didn't have to switch sides at all. And I switch these out quite often because the bent one was nice to operate it like a vacuum cleaner, and the straight ones were great for the undercarriage work. And the quick release is very, very nice. You notice several times in the video I would switch between this and the normal wand, which is nice. Now, in the surface cleaner mode, I was actually very surprised. I really didn't think it would do much better than a pressure washer, but one of the huge advantages is that it contains the spray. You could obviously use this in a garage, in possibly a basement or a warehouse, and you wouldn't have to go through the arduous task of cleaning everything out of it because it just does not spray debris around the area and it doesn't get water on the walls. And that's a huge advantage, so thumbs up for that. Well, thanks for watching. I will say that is the quickest and easiest trailer cleaning I ever did. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and leave a comment because we'd like to see how you would use something like this on your property. We'll see you next week.